And on trade, I have decided, for purposes of fairness, that I will charge a reciprocal tariff, meaning whatever countries charge the United States of America, we will charge them, no more, no less. In other words, they charge us a tax or tariff, and we charge them the exact same tax or tariff. Very simple. Nobody knows what that number is unless you go by the individual country. You can see what it is if you go to the individual country and you look at what they're charging us. In almost all cases, they're charging us vastly more than we charge them, but those days are over.
Kevin, first to you, give us a sense of what we are hearing from President Trump. I know he said today is the big one. What else did he give us in terms of details regarding these tariffs?
Yeah, and I should say he's still speaking in the Oval Office at this hour, and that tape will turn around and we'll see exactly what he had to say. But what we understand he's done is sign a memorandum instructing his top economic advisors to come up with a plan to apply these new tariffs. And I think it's an important distinction. He has not actually applied new tariffs on imports into the United States just yet. He has instructed his team to go forward with doing just that, to set these precise tariff rates on specific imports. That won't be a universal tariff rate. It will depend on what those countries have applied to American imports. And so I think that's an important distinction. The president, of course, has been talking about this for the last week, indicating that this would be sort of the biggest step in fulfilling his campaign promises, which is to try and rewrite American trade deficits, to try and bolster American factory workers. And so we'll hear exactly what he has to say. But what we heard from White House officials in the hour or so before he signed this was that this would not necessarily take effect right away, that there would be a waiting period of sorts as his team tries to ascertain exactly which products to tariff and at what rates. There will also be a 6-month review conducted by his budget director at sort of the precise fiscal implications of what he is doing. And I think that's notable just given what we have learned this week about inflation in the United States. The numbers showing that that continues to heat up. And I do think that that remains a concern, certainly among Republicans here in Washington, but also among the president's advisors, whether these new tariffs could prove inflationary. That would be a big problem for a president who made lowering prices a centerpiece of his campaign. And so all of this sort of being determined now, I do think it's notable what we will see later today here at the White House, which is a visit by the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That is a country that applies heavy tariffs on American imports. This is a country that could potentially be significantly impacted by reciprocal tariffs. President Trump has called Modi the tariff king, and certainly this will be a key topic of discussion as they sit down in the Oval Office late this afternoon.